I have here is the Stanley number 150 miter box. Stanley manufactured the 150 between 1923 and 1969. Now, it's a nice small miter box. It's only about 15 inches long and about 9 inches deep. And it's missing some of the features that some of the larger miter boxes have, but it also has some features that they don't have. And one of those is the ability to use a back saw and a regular hand saw. Now, one thing I'll point out is if you're using a back saw, you can adjust the depth of cut by loosening the thumb screw and moving this up and down to where it needs to be. But if you're using a regular hand saw, that won't do you any good. Now, some other things that don't have, there's no vernier scale around here. You just have detents for 90 degrees, 22.5 degrees, 30 degrees, and 45 degrees, and you have those on both sides of 0. Now, the pros and cons about this miter box, now the first two, really any miter box like this it applies to. Compared to a modern power miter box, this thing makes little noise if a noise is an issue for you, and also dust. The sawdust just simply falls down onto the miter box and onto the workbench and not blown up into the air like a power miter box would do. Now, there is one other thing I think is a pro and a con, and that's the size. I think the size of it, it's a pro. You know, it's small, and that's a great thing in some ways. If you don't have a lot of room or you need to move it around, transport it to job sites and things like that, it's perfect. It also, it's a con if you cut larger pieces of stock. It may not be big enough for what you need to do. There you have it, the Stanley number 150 miter box. I'll put some photos at the end of the video here if you want to have a look. I'll do some close-ups of some of the bits and pieces